For the fifth time, we've arrived here at the Motor City for rounds 9 and 10 of the 2018 Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks here on CBS Sports. Along with Sean Sermony, I'm Matt Nolte, and welcome to Belle Isle Park here in Detroit. Just a short drive from downtown, and Sean, with 2.3 miles, this is our longest track on the tour, and getting the perfect lap takes patience.
It does, and it's not a simple task. These trucks, they punch a really big hole in the air, so drafting, you wouldn't think so, but it's really important, especially at a course like this. This circuit has a lot of high speeds, but that being said, it's not just standing on the loud pedal. Yeah. It's a very technical course. It's got some really tight sections as well. There's some areas where passing's great, some areas passing's not, so yeah, not a simple task getting a good lap here.
Best way to describe it, risk and reward. If you get both of them, you're in for a good weekend.
It's a lot of risk. Some of the things you got to do, you got to push the envelope here, but the reward's on top of the box and doing really well. So yeah, you got to take those risks if you want to be up on top at the end of the weekend.
Well, 10 trucks and drivers are ready for 2 demanding races around this track. Let's go racing.
All right, folks, and it's a long lap here, 2.35 miles. You see on the front stretch here, going into turn 1, it's a little tight. As long as the track stays dry this weekend, it shouldn't be too bad. Now getting into turn 2, this is a long straightaway. This is the first time where the trucks really eat it up. They're hauling the mail in this section, going into turn 3. In the past, we've seen a lot of problems here. Guys spinning out, guys getting the tire walls, guys starting to cut to the inside. There's 3 or 4 different lines going into this, but the people around you are going to decide necessarily where you're going to be. As you see Ari Lyonek Jr., he gets in there nice and smooth, easy on the handbrake. This is kind of a mellower section, but you got to get out of this turn to get to the first jump nice and straight. Boom. You'll see these guys are going to start landing a little sideways there on purpose as they get into turn 5. They can't touch those orange barrels. That's going to be a penalty, and that keeps them from two-wheeling and getting over into the wall. Now we get into 6. This is when they really get it. We're pushing 150 miles an hour right here. This is similar to some of the long straights like in Long Beach and Toronto and different places where they're really getting on it. Drafting is extremely important here. However, get to the end of the straightaway here. You got to break out who's going right, who's getting left. Go to the inside of the curve, go to the outside. We're going to see some big problems here. I guarantee it as the weekend goes on, and now it gets very, very technical. Easy on the handbrake. You got to get set up here to get into this jump. That's another one you see. There's Ari Lyonek Jr. purposely getting sideways in the air, setting up for the next turn, whipping it like an old dirt bike as they get through this tight section here, and then they get right back to getting real fast and hard on the gas again here. So it gets really fast, gets super technical, a little bit slower here, then it starts to open up a little bit more as you get 2 right-handers coming up. Shouldn't see too much trouble here, or at least we haven't in the past. Guys getting through this fairly mellow, not too much contact, and now they get hard on the gas, but you got to slow them down a little bit before they go wide open to the jump on the front stretch, and here's the chicane. All heck breaks loose in here. This is meant to slow them down. They're not to be in here, not to be passing. It's to slow them down because safety is of the utmost importance in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. And boom, the Toyo Tires ramp sends you to the finish line, and that's a lap here at Belle Isle Grand Prix.
2 minutes to get around this course too. The points after 8 races so far sees Matt Brabham with a very comprehensive lead right now over Gavin Harlan, who'll be looking to chase this down. But Russell Boyle, he rejoins the series this weekend, starting from pole position in the number 7. He's subbing in for Robbie Gordon, who's away this weekend. Aaron Bumbuck starts on the front row, the local racer in truck number 3. Then Hines and Potts, Morrison, Harlan, Jeff Hoffman, Ari Lyonek, who we're just on board with, Matt Brabham, who's your series leader, and Blade Hildebrand starting from position number 10 in at number 68. He was the fastest in qualifying. Well, not the fastest. He came in late after missing his flight, opting to start at the back.
And here we are on board with the headstrong DeVilbiss driver. That is Matty Brabham there. Hawk Performance, big sponsor of him here in Detroit. And there's Ari Lyonek Jr. Here's in the Lear Corporation truck. In the Thrill, Bill Hines in the number 57 United Fiber and Data. And Russell Boyle, kind of the local guy, just from across the water here from Toronto, Canada. He's down here in Detroit. This is his first run here at the Belle Isle Grand Prix.
And big pressure as we go green here in race number 1 in Detroit. And Boyle, like a slingshot off the start line, that VP Racing Fuels number 7, leads Aaron Bumbach down into turn number 1 as they go into single file and settle into a groove. But turn 3 on lap 1, we know that's where the action station will be.
Boy, you nailed it right there. Boyle, he came out of there like a slingshot, man, fast off the line. But there's the local boy. There's Aaron Bumbach. He is on the inside right here. As I mentioned earlier, we did a preview lap. We've seen a lot of stuff happen in turn 3. Right here, everyone's kind of calm. Not bad first lap. They all follow in.
Oh.
We got Matty Brown. He goes outside. I spoke too soon. So we got Harlan. He goes way to the inside. He gets up into the grass at the number 55. They all get through it clean.
But sedate for Stadium Super Trucks through turn number 3. So Bumbach grabs the lead. Boyle in second. Hines back in third position. Now starting to feel the heat from Morris. Cole Potts is a rookie this year in the series, but it's a long way to play out. 2 competition cautions to come on this enormous Belle Isle Grand Prix circuit.
Oh, and then Potts, he gets in behind the dude there real quick. I thought there was going to be a little bit of contact. Gets through it nice and smooth. I'm surprised. So far, we've got through halfway of lap number 1. Pretty mellow, but I think things are about to unleash here as we move on a little bit forward. We got a couple guys faster in the back that need to move up. Smoke bellowing off the tires of the 55 of Harlan. That's a United Fiber and Data truck. He's hard on the binders going into turn 7 on the inside.
Watching for the first time, you'll see the faster guys at the back of the field here, so keep an eye on the likes of that red 119. And at the back, a new livery this weekend for the Vilbus and Hawk Performance on your series leader in Matt Brabham.
You see, there was Hildebrand. He got awfully sideways right there in the Empire Destructive truck. Keep in mind, folks, he wasn't able to be here for practice and qualifying. This is his first time out here on the circuit. Talk about baptism by fire. He is out there hard on the gas trying to figure out exactly where he's going, and it's hula time for the number 55 of Gavin Harlan. Running very confident. You see Potts, he steps to the inside. Sees chicane's coming up. I got to get back in, bail back in there. Meanwhile, Strategic Staffing Solutions number 3 of Aaron Bumbach, he's looking very comfortable. And we got a problem with Hildebrand getting in the back of Ari Lyondike Jr. going into that chicane.
A lot of drivers remarked yesterday after practice it's very, very tight down there. Not surprised to see him queuing up at the back. So look at the hood damage to the Empire Graphics number 68 of Blade Hildebrand. He missed his connecting flight on the way here yesterday. This is his first real serious look at this circuit.
Well, now he's got a lap under his belt there. I'm sure that chicane was a bit of a surprise as we're back on board with the number 55, Gavin Harlan. Harlan, Rookie of the Year in 2017, 2018, not looking so shabby either, as there's Bill Hines the inside. Behind him it is Morris, Potts, and Harlan. So those 3 looking good back on board the United Fiber and Data truck of Gavin Harlan. Real easy on the handbrake right there. You see him. They use that handbrake just to get the rear end around, just to rotate the truck. It's not to really slow the truck down so much, but just rotate the truck around.
So Hines with his teammate defending Stadium Super Truck Series champion Paul Morris behind in the black-red live sponsored number 1. Look at the lead Bumbach's got here right now. He's had a couple of podium positions in his short but very limited campaign in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, but that is a mammoth lead to have, knowing though the competition caution is not too far away.
Well, that's it. We've got 2 mandatory competition cautions coming up. Smoke off of Potts, smoke off of Harlan, as well as both those guys hard on the binders. Hawk Performance slowing them down. To the inside, it is Paul Morrison, number 1. He leans on his teammate of Bill Hines a little bit. Says, Thrill, I'm sorry, but I got to move on through. Around the hill, he goes to the outside. Potts, he's to the inside, not able to make that pass stick. Would have been a little too aggressive, as Potts is starting to look more and more racier as this first race rolls on.
Potts in a UFD sandwich right now, back on board here with Gavin Harlan. Race winner earlier this year at Long Beach, and looking for another one here this week in Detroit. There's Ari Lyondike Jr., who gave us the onboard lap to show us what this Detroit Belle Isle circuit's like. The Lear Corporation 119, another of the new race winners. We've had so many so far in 2018.
Look at Potts back and forth, right and left. Harlan trying to hold his line right there. And there is Hoffman as well. Oh, and Boyle, he goes in a little hot, gets through the chicane, doesn't hit one of the barrels. That's going to be up to race control if there'll be any form of penalty. Said you couldn't hit one. He got through it without hitting it. That's going to be a hard call for USAC's Jason Smith. As moving forward, we haven't spoke a whole lot about the Jeff Hoffman. He's been nice and quiet, kind of like he is in the pits right now. But don't wait. No, he's going to end up striking. And usually when you see him mellow like this, you don't see a whole lot going on. That's usually a good day for the Hawk.
Talk about striking. Here comes Harlan on the outside of Cole Potts. Drag race down here into turn number 3 as Hines looking for the move down the inside of young Canadian Russell Boyle, and had to eat a lot of grass on the way through.
He did hard on the brakes there. Boyle, he goes real wide. Hines stays in front of him. Boyle easy on the handbrake, nice and smooth. calm in the truck so far. A couple little mistakes, but he's able to pick up where he left off without having anything major. Goes to the inside. Good, aggressive, clean pass on Hines. Now Potts, he falls in behind Boyle. Boyle looking good in the number 7, driving for Robbie Gordon.
Oh, no.
Oh, and Potts helps Boyle get around the VP Racing Fuels and Lubricants number 7 of Russell Boyle. Get some assistance by Potts getting spun around there as the number 60 HallmarkTrucks.com just moves on forward.
So Potts may be quiet off the circuit, but man, is he aggressive behind the wheel of that HallmarkTrust.com entry. And suddenly the race spices up, and Lyndike Jr., 2 360s, keeps it going. That's Hines in the background as well. This race has exploded here at Detroit.
This is exactly what I thought was going to happen as things go on. And as Boyle got bumped by Potts there, without a doubt. Potts helped him around. I mentioned a lap or so earlier. Potts was starting to look a little too racy. Here we are on board with Cole Potts. Goes inside. Came in a little hot. Kind of a raciness. So yeah, he hit him. And okay, Potts knows. He knows what happened there. Didn't mean to do it on purpose. And then look, it looks like Ari to the inside of Hoffman. Didn't get any help from Potts, though. Potts was all left him alone there. So here we are.
And not a mark on this truck. Watch this. He didn't even touch the 47.
Ari,
what a shot.
Lyndike Jr., you did that on your own, my man. As he came in hot, a lot going on. Did he get into Hoffman? Did Potts help him around? But no, it looked like an unfamiliar mistake by Ari Lyndike Jr. because you don't see that type of thing come out of that truck very often. He doesn't make those types of mistakes. And I jinxed him again as the 119 Lear Corporation blows turn 3. The Thrill says, I'm doing it too. United Fiber and Data number 57. Same thing as well. So everything we talked about on the preview lap earlier, where there's going to be problems, it's happening right now.
Almost a sympathy spin then from the 57 down at turn number 3. As down into the backside of the circuit now between two young guys who are now almost the seniors in this field when you think about it. Harlan and Hoffman, both brand new race winners in Spin Energy Stadium Super Trucks this year, and both searching for more wins here in Detroit. We're back on board with Hoffman on the run down into turn number 7.
And there we are. There's a good shot of our leader, Aaron Baumbach. We haven't heard much about him today because he's been way out front, just putting on a clinic here in Detroit in front of his hometown fans. Right behind him, it is the number 1, Paul Morris. We should be going into the first of the 2 mandatory competition cautions here momentarily. That's going to bunch the pack back up. There is Cole Potts in the number 60. His hood's falling off, feeling a little bit rough. But we're going to be right back with you in just a little bit with the conclusion of race number 1.
Stadium Super Trucks on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Toyo Tires. We are Toyo, all or nothing. And by KMC Wheels, precision for imprecise environments.
Competition caution is out here at Detroit, the Belle Isle Grand Prix. Race 9 of this year's Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. Not the warmest day here in the D as the trucks have come to a stop just before the start line here with Aaron Baumbach out in front. You're on board with a guy called Blade Hildebrand, who's been one of the standout rookies of season 2018. Let's learn more about him.
I started racing dirt bikes when I was younger, like 3 years old, 4 years old. I was racing a PW50. I got in some with the big names, Sheldon Creed and all them. I was racing with them, and they set up the mod carts. I stayed in dirt bikes, and we got a shifter cart. Started messing with that a little bit here and there. We got a late model. Started racing some circle track stuff, and got a 6100 truck, and Robbie kind of came on to me and said, hey, I got a new series going, Stadium Super Trucks. Would you like to join it? So I was like, yeah, why not? It's a big series. I mean, everyone knows Stadium Super Trucks. You know, it's good for the sponsors. It's good to get your name out there. That's pretty much what we're doing. We're trying to just get my name out there so people know who I am, know who my sponsors are, and Stadium Super Trucks is the perfect series to do that. There's something about it when you're on the pavement with these trucks and you're launching 100 feet in the air. I mean, it's sweet. I mean, the fans absolutely love these trucks. I mean, they're cool to watch, especially, and they're especially fun to drive, but it's been great. It's been so much fun. It's a great sport to race in. You got a lot of competition, you know. It's hard. I've had my fair share of bad luck, so hopefully I can turn it around this weekend.
It's been really impressive in his first year, along with Cole Potts in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. Scored a podium at Barbagallo Raceway in Perth just a few weeks ago. The green flag is back out, and a big moment here for Aaron Baumbach, but man, he's got some pressure behind, including a guy called Paul Morris.
Well, you know, Baumbach, this is his home track. He's been on the podium here before. He's really looking to do it again, but he had so much room in the first part of this race as all the guys are battling out. Now the who's who are moving up towards the front. It's not going to be an easy second half for him here. He's got him one more comp caution coming up, put the pressure back on. A lot can happen as right now the number one, your champ, the dude, Paul Morris. He goes to the inside, nice and clean, great pass. Look at Harlan, he makes a 2-for-1. So Baumbach goes from first back to third there. Not a mistake by Baumbach, just two really good, talented drivers behind him making the best of the situation.
Yeah, well driven by Harlan on that pass then, just snuck down the inside. Here's Hoffman sizing up for the move on Aaron Baumbach. This was the view from the outside, so Morris was down the inside. Baumbach was busy looking at the number one, and all of a sudden, the 55 zips down the inside at turn 3 and gets that second position away from the man from Rochester.
I guarantee you Gavin Harlan had the plan of going from third to first on that one until the dude started doing dude stuff. But you saw him pumping the brakes. He was wide on the outside. He already had a plan to at least get around one driver. He was going to go for a 2-for-1. That's how far ahead Gavin Harlan is thinking, opposed to some of the other drivers out there. And things are happening. Oh, we got, looks like, is it Cole Potts? I think it might be the number 60. Upside down. Didn't get an opportunity to see exactly how that happened. But boy, he is up on his lid. Not sure if he got any assistance there as we go into a yellow caution right now. This is a full course yellow. This may end up, we'll see, could be our mandatory comp caution for the second one. Look at him, all on his own.
Oh,
boom!
He's missed the tire wall by maybe a row. I thought at first maybe a soft rollover here, but that's a lot of damage to the rear of that. Oh man, second look at that. You know we'll come back next year and there'll be an extra row of tires there. It doesn't matter how far you put him down, but here it is from the onboard. Have a listen.
Oh boy. So that very tough rollover all on his own right there.
So the comp caution comes out once again as they pull the number 60 down onto all four wheels. Morris continues to lead. We're back at Detroit. The competition caution, which was sprung on us early due to that incident with Cole Potts, about to be tucked away. Cole Potts' truck being taken back into the paddock, and hopefully we'll see the 60 back out for tomorrow. Paul Morris leads. He hasn't won since Darwin last year as he leads us back. Oh no, heading down to turn number 1. He's landed, and there's an issue with the rear of the number 1.
Oh, Morris smart to get out of the way right there. Some type of issue after he landed off the jump. This was his opportunity to make it happen in 2018. Paul Morris, he's been around a long time. He was smart enough. That could have caused a pretty good pile-up right there going into turn 1, but the dude, he knows what's up. He was smart enough to get out of the way as quickly as possible. Now we see the lead. It is Harlan out in front, Aaron Baumbach and Brabham. We haven't talked a lot about Matty Brabs, the number 83 Hawk Performance truck yet today, but he has now made his way up to P3.
He's on the charge in that top 3 result right now for the series leader. On board with Morris, so here's the green flag, lands. And it just starts to act really weird going to turn number 1. And he pulled the truck to the right-hand side. Great presence of mind, and that's years and years of experience coming out of the dude there.
So you see him definitely struggling when he gets on the gas. Maybe he could have spun an axle. And this is, boom, that is Hoffman, I believe it is.
And he's got an issue too. That happened at the back of the shot there. Has he lost all noise?
And it looks like some type of problem there. So Hoffman having a bit of an issue as well. Both of them landing off that jump. But meanwhile, Matty Brabs in the Hawk Performance number 83. He's having a battle royale with the Learcorp number 119 of Ari Lyondike Jr. Both those guys in practice qualifying session, we're talking 100ths of a second off in practice qualifying. Matty Brab just edging out Ari Lyondike Jr. in that. We've been waiting for this race to unfold all weekend long as these two are battling their way up to the front.
Top 4 covered by nothing right now. Lyondike Jr. pulls out for the move. Oh, what a pass. Wow. Very textbook, very clean on the run down to the second last turn. So Lyondike with the Lear Corporation backing, he wants a result. He wants a win here at the V.
Ari Lyondike passing Brabham like Brabham was parked right there. What a textbook pass. Nice and smooth. All of a sudden, Brabham's like, where did he just come from? As we get a heck of a pass. And here's another look at on board with Ari Lyondike Jr. He dives to the right, nice and smooth, goes by him like he's sitting still. Matty Brabs is like, where did you just come from? Great pass by Ari Lyondike Jr. in the Lear Corporation's 119.
Just set him up nicely and now moves up into a podium position. There's that hint of smoke every time he goes through turn 1 and 2. It's like the tire just rubbing on that inner guard. You're on board with the 83. Now, that sounds electrical. That sounds like maybe a plug lead or a wire maybe has come loose, because his straight line speed is gone.
Something has definitely faded with the number 83 a little bit there, which is unlikely, especially in race number 1. The SST technicians, mechanics, and engineers, they bust tail making sure these trucks are ready to rock and roll every weekend, and they do such an amazing job. So to see that happen all in one lap here is odd. That is certainly not the norm for Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. So we've got the number 83 Hawk Performance driver of Matty Brabham. He's going to do everything he can to try to recapture the race up in front with the top 3 of Harlan, Baumbach, and Arie Luyendyk Jr. I don't know if that's going to happen. We are looking at 7 out of 10 laps. However, there was a bit of cleanup time for Cole Pop's rollover. They are on time constraints now. Matty Brabham's hoping we can get the full 10 laps in.
I have a feeling we might go short here, maybe 1 or 2 laps in this. It's down into, well, the stadium section here, if you like to call it, of the Detroit Belle Isle Grand Prix circuit. A couple of ramps in this section alone, past the corporate hospitality suite. So all eyes on that 83 in the background. But Gavin Harlan out in front doing a great job, and Aaron Baumbach looking good here, maybe for his best ever result in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, but will rue the fact that he led majority of this race.
The whole beginning, the whole first section, Baumbach didn't just lead it, he put on a clinic. He was out on his own. Of course, Paul Morris having a little bit of bad luck on the front stretch earlier on here. That allowed him to move back into the top 3 right now, but these guys are looking very mellow, very comfortable. Similar driving style actually for the top 4 trucks right there. Difference is Baumbach will not get as aggressive as Harlan or Luyendyk or Brabham would as the white flag's out, 1 final lap left to go. Baumbach, he won't get that aggressive with the guys. The other guys, they will move you around if need be. Aaron is a gentleman on the track as well like that. Not to say that the others aren't, but he won't get as aggressive. But to watch him right now spread out a little bit, it's almost like they're all going a little bit slower, but it's just because they are so fast and so, I use this term often, but so methodical the way they get around the track that it almost looks like the pace is slowed down, when in fact it's just the opposite. The pace of the track's getting faster.
And evident by the fact they've pulled so far away from the likes of Boyle and Blade Hildebrand further back in the field. So last lap underneath the Lear Corporation bridge with the Lear Corp. Number 119 of Arie Luyendyk Jr., race winner in Perth earlier this year, and looking good here for another top 3 result.
So we are getting through turn 5, getting in. We see a couple of barrels gone right there, but wondering, I don't think that was one of our leaders, but it could have been. It very well may have been Harlan. We know it wasn't Baumbach, or it could have been from lap prior, but someone definitely got into those barrels, and those are for safety, to keep them from up on that curb, to keep them from two-wheeling too much through that section right there, as we're on board with the headstrong, developist Hawk Performance number 83 of Matty Brabham. So we've got less than half a lap left to go as we get into, I like your term, the stadium section here, as that gets tight right here. They're hitting that jump purposely sideways. We get the right camera angle. Look at nice and sideways in the air. They're setting up for that turn. They purposely don't hit it straight. They flick the wheel. It is a 1-to-1 turning ratio on in the steering box and these things, so it's easy to manipulate the truck how you want it to do things in the air and what have you. So these guys are starting to catch on to this going into so many seasons of it and getting faster and faster around these tracks.
So Brabham in conservation mode. Not so this guy, Gavin Harlan. We've got a string of podiums in season 2017. Didn't get his first race win until that shortened race. He led majority of that race at Long Beach anyway. Didn't matter. But today, he swings through the chicane for the final time to collect his 2nd win of the 2018 season and our 6th different winner here at the Belle Isle Grand Prix circuit. Gavin Harlan wins race number 1 here today. Aaron Baumbach will score 2nd, his best ever result in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. And Arie Luyendyk Jr., the love affection with Detroit continues. That's his 4th top 3 result here.
He absolutely loves this place here, Luyendyk Jr. does. He does so well. So there's your results. First place up on top of the box, it's Gavin Harlan. Aaron Baumbach, congratulations on a 2nd place, and Arie Luyendyk Jr. round out your top 3.
Yeah, Brab's home for 4th. Well, they'll have to diagnose the issue with that truck. In the meantime, let's check in with our winner.
Paul's always been really good at making passes, even if he's forcing his way, dumping people, or just doing it clean. So I knew once I got through a little bit of traffic and ended up behind him, all I had to do was follow him. It's a bummer that he had that mechanical on that restart when he was in first, but really got to thank him for helping me get through the pack. I don't know if he broke an axle or something, because right as he landed, or maybe a transmission, his truck just swapped a little bit and he came to a stop. But I don't know, I was looking forward to a really good battle those last couple laps after that restart, but it's a bummer. But once I saw him pulling off to the side, I was like, all right, just got to go and win this race.
Congratulations to Gavin Harlan, and the championship doesn't close up too much there with Matt Brabham continuing to lead. Ari Leindyke, though, moves up into 4th position. Hey, what about the drive from Aaron Bambach? His career best result of 2nd place here in the D.
I knew I just working the truck when I got out early, seeing how good it was, what I could do with it. After that, I knew we were going to have the competition caution. And honestly, the guy in the lead is usually kind of a sitting duck with these trucks punch a big hole in the air down that long straightaway. And I just thought, well, all right, we're going to have one more competition caution, and then I'll have the opportunity to get back up there. And unfortunately, I think Paul had something go on with his truck, but fortunate for me, put me back up into 2nd, and then Gavin and I just were able to run clean and get out there.
For a part-time racer, he does a fantastic job, but well done to Gavin Harlan. Can he go back-to-back? Come back and join us soon here from the streets of Belle Isle here in Detroit. The beautiful sights of downtown Detroit as we welcome you back to the Belle Isle Grand Prix and race 10 of this year's Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks on CBS Sports. Sean Sermony and Matt Nolte with you for race number 2. How good was Ari Leindyke in race number 1?
Just so good, the number 119 Lear truck, and then there's the 68 of Blade Hildebrand. He's got a little track time now, came in a little bit late, and there's the number 7 filling in for Robbie Gordon of Russell Boyle from just across the way, and Cole Potts hoping for a better race number 2 than race number 1 is the number 60 Hallmark Trust.com truck got into the wall earlier in the race. So there is your starting lineup. Cole Potts out front, Morris, Boyle, Hines, Hoffman on down to Brabham, Ari Leindyke Jr. and Gavin Harlan as they flip-flop. He who does the best in race number 1 starts in the worst spot in race number 2, as it is a full inversion for these guys. So good news, though, Cole Potts, Paul Morris, they're happy. They're both fast and able to win. They're up front as they're about ready to drop the green flag. We're inside 15 seconds, and the flag is off.
And Steve Ruiz waves the green flag, one of our lucky competition winners here in Detroit. And Cole Potts looking to reward our hard-working team behind the scenes at Stadium Super Trucks. They worked on this truck pretty much all night to get the rear end of the Hallmark Trust.com entry back out of the circuit. There is so much to talk about. I didn't think we'd see the 60 back out there. They've also repaired Paul Morris's number 1 truck, and it was a loose wire on the 83 of Matt Brabham. That truck's also been repaired as the dude dives down the inside here at turn 3.
I had a talk in between race 1 and race 2 with Cole Potts, talked a little bit about it. I said, listen, kid, man, you looked a little too racy, too fast. I'm like, you don't need to be that aggressive. I'm like, you did that all on your own yesterday. He's like, I know. He spent the whole time in between race 1 and 2 by himself, just watching in-car footage of everything, trying to calm down. But right now, so far for lap number 1, it's not working as Boyle moves into P2. Looks like Hoffman in number 47 into P3, and Cole Potts in number 60 moved back to number P4 right now. He's got to mellow out this weekend. That's not the Cole Potts that we know.
What about this? Heading down into turn number 5. Watch ahead here from the contact going in down into turn number 5. He said he had to be calm in this race, so I bet he's fired up now after being turned into the wall.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man, if anything, Russell Boyle owed him one.
Yeah.
And he just paid him back, and he paid him back well. So
big interest.
Hey, Rubbins Racing, if me personally, I'm a fan of that type of thing. Someone does you wrong, you do them back. And Russell Boyle got him good right there.
Natural justice is the word as we head down the backside of the circuit. Hoffman down the inside. He had an issue with his truck yesterday as well. That's been rectified in the 47 as we settle into a groove here in race number 2 and race 10 of this year's series, and down to complete the first lap with the dude out in front.
There is Cole Potts. He pulls. Once again, we saw him try that move in race number 1. Pulling to the outside right there, but then chicane's coming up, so you're forced to get back in. Boyle, he gets into the chicane twice, opens it up. That chicane is there strictly just to slow him down for that first ramp. Safety is of the utmost importance in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks worldwide, no matter where we go. And so that being said, that chicane's there just to keep the speeds down a little bit on that first ramp.
And they've already been put back into their position. Looking out of our commentary box windows, we're back on board with Ari Leindyke Jr. in the slipstream. Hildebrand trying to break this. He'll make him go the outside. And the run to turn number 3. Rows of 2 deep, heading down into turn 3. I love this racing.
Wow, the 4 of them just right on top of each other. We go 3 wide, Hildebrand to the inside. Ari Leindyke Jr. says, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm just diving way to the inside here. Gets a 3-for-1, the 119 Lear truck. what a weekend he has had so far.
That was a cool bit of racing down there in that sequence of corners. Here's Cole Potts landing on the front left into turn number 5. There's Boyle and Brabham starting to slice his way through the field with Aaron Bumbach and that Strategic Staffing Solutions number 3.
You see Brabham in the number 83 Hawk Performance truck. He is making his way through the pack. You saw him in the air there. All the flames coming out of the exhaust of the on the gas as he's in the air. He's moving forward. He knows what he needs to do. He's not happy about yesterday's performance as we hop on board with the number 7 of Russell Boyle right there. Boyle looking good earlier in the race here, moving Cole Potts out of the way in lap number 1. There is Gavin Harlan. He goes to the inside of Baumbach, not far enough up on the rail to make it happen. He had to file in behind him. Baumbach in the number 3. He's looking comfortable right now. We hop on board with the United 5-run data, number 55 of Gavin Harlan. He won race number 1. He wants to win race number 2.
You can hear the way he's just squeezing the throttle through that left and right combination as now Morris and Hoffman. Remember, these two guys led us at the restart of the first race, now have the first and second positions locked right down, and those problems are gone. Here's Lyndike Jr. in third. Hildebrand runs in fourth, and Cole Potts feeling the pressure now from your series leader in Matt Brabham.
Right now, Hoffman putting the pressure on Paul Morris. Hoff has proved he's got the speed to do what he needs to do as they get through that really tight chicane. Keep him slowed down, nice and mellow. Big air Toyo tire sends him flying down the front stretch as we hopped on board for Hoffman there. Rough landing for him as he gets a little bit sideways. Not too bad. Matty Brabs, he backs it in to turn number 1, trying to apply some pressure to the number 60.
Now, other tracks we've raced at over the year in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, you don't tend to see the fast guys move up this quick. But with the length of this track, you need to be at the pointy end very early.
Absolutely. When you only got those 2 comp cautions, I say only.
They're both off.
And both of them make a mistake. Morris goes off. Hoffman follows him. And Hoffman says, you know what? These tires are in my way. Climbs up over the tire wall. Both of them make a mistake trying to outbrake one another right there. And it ended up putting them both in a horrible situation. And now I believe Ari Lyndike Jr., he moves into the lead number 119. So he's happy as can be.
One of the greatest smiles in the paddock, and I'm sure it'll be blazing right through the helmet of the Lear Corporation 119. Lyndike Jr. picks up the lead on lap number 3. Here's how it looked from the Lear Corporation entries. The 2 UFD teammates said sayonara down at the left-hander at turn 3.
Look at here's Paul Morris. He knew. Paul's like, I ran in way too deep. I'm not going to run to the wall. I'm going to be smart about this. Well, at the same time, he took Hoffman with him. Hoffman's like, man, the dude's running it deep. I need to do the same thing. And ended up both making a mistake there. The only difference was the dude was able to control it and keep it out of the tire wall. We'll see. I've mentioned earlier on, turn 3, there's a lot of stuff going on right there as we see some big contact right there from Hoffman getting into Hildebrand. So turn 3, we're going to see a lot of stuff, and this being the last race of the weekend here, the elbows are going to be up, the paint's going to be swapped. This is where we're going to be pushing bumpers in, without a doubt.
4 trucks scrapped now for second. Brabham did a phantom look then on Jeff Hoffman. Morris is ahead with Hildebrand, who's fairly aggressive today, and now he's had a chance to look at this circuit. He's far more comfortable than what he was when he arrived here Friday afternoon, and now holds down that 3rd position. But Lyndike Jr. has a good margin, but guess what? It's artificial.
Well, that's exactly it. We still got a comp caution coming up, 1 of 2 of them yet. So Paul Morris, he's moving himself back into P2. He knows, hey, man, I got a pretty big gap between me and Lyndike. Not a big deal. I've been doing this a long time. I know Stadium Super Trucks, I'm the champ. I'm the dude. I got to just relax, chill out, and that's what needs to happen here for him until they get into that next comp caution.
So through turn 1 and 2 as we start the 4th lap here at Detroit. The Belle Isle Grand Prix, some pretty dark clouds. Here's a different perspective heading down the long straight with Matt Brabham, the Hawk Performance de Vilbis number 83. If you've never driven one, and I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that haven't, that's what it's like behind the wheel of one of these amazing Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks.
Preston Rentals coming on board as well with Brabham, as Preston Heyer is assisting him in Australia. So as the ambassador of Preston Rentals here in the United States, excited to see them up on the dash of this truck as we're back on board with Matty Brabs and number 83, putting some pressure on Hoffman. Hoffman to the inside of Hildebrand. Hildebrand lets him go by, nice and smooth. Oh, it's a 2 for 1 in a negative sense for Hildebrand as he drops back. 2 positions right there. Smart to get off the gas a little bit, though. You didn't want to get into that wall.
Amazing racing, but still some laps to go in the race. We're working the halfway mark almost at Detroit. Down the long back straight, looking back now at Matt Brabham like a shark. Down the inside, the Hawk Performance entry, and gets the job done.
The worst news for all the competitors out there is knowing Matty Brabham has a truck that is running flawlessly. And that's exactly what's happening right here for the number 83, running so well, slowly making his way up to the front. He needs to catch Ari Lyondike Jr. As he mentioned during race number 1, they are only 100th of a second off in qualifying. So they are the 2 fastest guys out there. So that being said, we're going to be back in just a little bit. We'll find out who's up on top of the box at the end of race number 2.
The big names are up at the front as we welcome you back to Belle Isle here and the Detroit Grand Prix, race 10 of the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. Lap number 5, the comp caution is in the books. Here's the green flag and we're back underway.
Here we go. We got another 4 3/4 lap until the second and final comp caution of this 10-lap race. So right now, as we've mentioned before, I know I use the term a lot, the cream has risen to the top as we got Ari Lyondike Jr., we got the champ Paul Morris, Matty Brabs and the number 83, and Hoffman. That's your top 4 right now. Harlan, he's just sitting outside there in top 5. I think we're going to see him move up. We're going to see the race that we've been wanting to see all weekend long, and it's about to get epic.
So Morris and Brabham side by side down to turn 3. There's the orange cone flicked out. Inside, the number 47 of Jeff Hoffman. He got his first win in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks in Western Australia as well this year. So the new cast of stars starting to break their way through in season 2018. But Matt Brabham looking to chase down Ari Lyondike Jr. to further extend that series lead.
I tell you, I've been so impressed with just the way Ari Lyondike has been hitting a few of the jumps here this weekend. Almost taking a couple notes out of the playbook of Sheldon Creed a few years ago, who had purposely flicked the wheel, hit the jump sideways, set himself up for the turns. We've seen a little bit of that before, but Ari Lyondike has been doing that big time this weekend, and it's working for him. And I'm not going to lie, it's really cool to watch.
So Brabham, he's got a bit of work to do though if he's going to hold down Matt Brabham. These 2 guys fairly friendly off the circuit as well, but right now it's all about getting the W in race number 10 of this year's series. Through the stadium section, the Lear Corporation 119 leads the Hawk Performance de Vilbis number 83.
Now we see right there, Ari Lyondike, P1, P2, it is Matty Brabs looking real good, but they're not really pulling from Morris. The thing is, I think we're going to see a good battle between Morris and Hoffman. We already saw them earlier on. Morris was in the lead in segment number 1, so race segment number 1. Hoffman made a mistake with Morris because he was kind of letting Morris kind of make up his own mind for him, run a little bit too deep into turn 3. But I think we're going to see a good race for the 2 of them there. I don't know if they got what it takes to pass Brabham and Lyondike.
Or the orange barrel gets a nudge out the way then at the exit of the final turn. So through they come to complete another lap. Lyondike Jr. gets a bit of a margin now to Brabham. Morris still runs in 3rd position. Those dark clouds still looming around this enormous circuit in Detroit. We actually had an evacuation here on setup day on Friday. A tornado hanging around the area, which being from Australia, we've never seen them before. But it's cleared up to be a nice weekend here so far, but still a long way to go in race number 2.
Well, we're about to have a tornado warning here in the last segment of this race here in a little bit, as these guys are really starting to get into it. There's Gavin Harlan, number 55, winner of race number 1, has the speed to be the winner of race number 2. No doubt in my mind about that at all, but he's got a lot of work to do to catch up to our leaders, get past Hoffman, get past the dude, and get into the mix right now. So a lot going on for him as he's watching these guys slowly have a great battle in front of him, and he wants to be a part of that. He wants the overall. He needs to make up points on Matty Brabham for the championship as well.
So down alongside the Detroit River we go again, lap 6 of 10. We're in car once again with Matt Brabham. He heads back to Australia later on in the month for some more testing in the lead up to the Pertec Enduro Cup, which he'll drive in the Supercars Championship down there. Looking forward to seeing him in that part of the world once again. His uncle David's just launched the new Brabham BT62 sports car, which is going to be built in Adelaide in South Australia. So the Brabham name making a resurgence in 2018.
Well, 2 of the biggest names in motorsport for going on for generations is Lyondike and Brabham, and the 2 of them are right on top of one another, battling for the lead right now. Look at Harlan. That's what we were talking about. He's now caught up. He's made that gap in between him and Hoffman and Paul Morris. So now he's going to start pushing and pushing and pushing. He knows he's run out of time. Not a lot of laps left to go. He and Hoffman, they're buddies. They grew up racing together. But he will move him out of the way if he needs to. And Hoffman, he's ready for it, man. That kid can get aggressive as well. So I think it's not just a race for the lead right now. It's actually the race for 3rd place, and it's a 3-way race.
As the way the 83 just bobbled around going into the chicane, the barrel section to complete another lap. So Lyondike gets an extra point to his name for the laps led in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. Morris, just a bit of a gap now on Hoffman, Harlan and Blade Hildebrand, who's also in the mix now as well.
So right now these guys starting to pull away from the rest of the pack, as we said earlier on, 100th a second in qualifying in between these two drivers. Brabham in right in front of him in P1, Ari Lyondike Jr. So the two of those are kind of in a class of their own right now. Look at them, nice and calm in that cab. You don't see any unnecessary movements, nothing like that going on. Just so mellow as we're on board with Brabham right here. They get through turn 3, nice and slow.
Oh, no, that's Morris, who's upside down in the same corner we saw Hoffman eating the tyre barrier earlier in the race.
Turn 3 again. We saw just, I think, a lap prior, maybe 2 laps ago, Morris out breaking himself a little bit there. Now this time he's up into the tire walls.
So the red flag is out here in Detroit. We'll come back with Ari Lyondike leading from Brabham and Harlan. We'll be back. Welcome back to Detroit, and there's a great sight. The dude jumps out of truck number 1 after that big rollover. He's a big fella, and right now just going, yeah, I'm all right, mate. We'll walk away from this scene. But a big moment there, Sean Sermony.
Well, the thing is with the dude, you know, turn 3, we've had some trouble here, not just with this class, but all the classes, you know, getting into the tire wall here. And so we're going to get a big look at it. We've seen the dude had a little trouble earlier on, and where is he? And all of a sudden, okay, boom.
Oh, wow.
Got into the tire walls. So they got upside down there. Luckily, it looks like the truck didn't actually take on too much damage there. All on his own, got up, two-wheeled in, boom. The tires kept it from getting too nasty. And luckily, the dude, he's been here before in other forms of racing. He's tough, he's big, he's strong, and he definitely can take a bit of a beating. Boom. The tires save it, flip that truck upside down. The trucks seem heavy till you've seen that. They're actually not much to them. They're very strong, very stout, very tough trucks, about 2,900 pounds dry. And there he is, and Paul Morris out of the truck. He is doing fine, so good news for him. But wild ride right there. There's one more look at it. All on his own. Got up into that tire, up in the curb there, made the thing two-wheel, and he had nowhere to go. He ran out of real estate. You could see him trying to steer out of it and fix the issue, but nowhere to go. So right now we are still under checkered flag, so it is official. We're now hearing from race control that they do want to fix that tire wall up before they get into the next race, the IndyCar final coming up right around the corner. So that being said, not the way he wanted to be, but there's a win for Ari Lyondike Jr.
And what a place to do it in Detroit as well. It got cut short. We'll come back and check it with our winner here from Detroit right after this.
Stadium Super Trucks on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Speed Energy. Fuel the need for speed. And by United Fiber and Data, ingenuity in infrastructure.
So the race has been called short here, but take nothing away from Ari Lyondike Jr., the winner, his second race win of season 2018 in the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks, and what a place to do it. Here he gets the job done from Matt Brabham, Gavin Harlan, Jeff Hoffman and Blade Hildebrand, your top 5. Bumback, Cole Potts, Bill Hines, Russell Boyle, and Paul Morris was the DNF in this race. It brought out the red flags. Let's go to Ari.
The truck was awesome. Big thank you to Lear. Obviously, they stepped up for me for this race. Also, UFD for giving me the opportunity to run full-time. Yeah, what a great win. It was really cool because in Perth, you know, I got that win, but I started up front. So it felt good to pass a lot of trucks, even in a shortened race. Paul made a little mistake, and I, you know, just kind of focused through the corner and capitalized. So it was one of those things that happens a lot here in Detroit. You know, now I've raced here quite a bit, and it finally feels good to win. I've finished a lot of seconds and thirds here, and great to get the overall.
And there's our points after round 10 right there. Matty Brabham in the lead with 292. In the 83, Gavin Harlan, number 55. He's trying to chase him down. Ari Lyondike Jr. Round out your top 5 with Jeff Hoffman. But let's take a minute to go down and see Gavin Harlan.
Didn't take the win today, but I'm still pumped. I started in the back today. Yesterday I was lucky enough to start in the middle of the pack and be able to get out front pretty quick. But today, like I said, my plan was yesterday, going into today, I just sat in the back, waited for those opportunities, followed these two really fast drivers in front of me through the pack. It's a bummer that it got cut short. I feel like that last lap that they might have given us, me, Ari, and Matty would have battled really hard. But still happy for them, still happy for me and UFD Racing for getting third overall and a couple podiums going into Texas.
And boy, was he good in Texas last year. That's where we're going racing next time in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. Another weekend here in Detroit filled with action, spins, and some new race winners. For more information, head to cbssports.com. Follow us at stadiumsupertrucks.com. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram as well. For Sean Sermony, I'm Matt Nolte. We'll see you in Texas.